Welcome to Smack Talk. 2 links as always down below in the description box. If you want to watch some of these, like I said, man, you can even watch, right behind my bald pumpkin head, you can watch the entire near half-hour promo with The Rock and Cody Rhodes. Like, I mean, don't just be listening to me flap my gums. Like, I mean, check out the website. Sometimes they even have exclusive WWE internet videos that you won't even see on the show or if you were even there in person. So don't forget that, okay? I don't want your cookies. I'm on a diet, bitch. Oh, this was one of those nights where I was like, I can't wait to make a video on this. Oh, there it is, right at the top. 25 minutes. Like, they're pretty generous with some of the stuff. Oh, boy. I don't know what's going on there. Need a little context there, because, might be 2025, but, what's going on? Nick Aldis tells Cody Rhodes backstage that the final boss took him out of the 6-man in the main event. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe you can help shed some light on this, because I told you this before. If I don't know something, I'm not going to pretend or just brush it off and not talk about it. I will ask you, my small gathering of people, what the hell was he talking about? What main event? Because the main event wasn't a 6-man. It was a 2-on-2 tag team match. He wasn't talking about the Elimination Chamber. The Elimination Chamber is about who the 6 men are going to win to face Cody Rhodes for the championship. So I'm really confused. So help me out. What the hell he meant by that? Drew McIntyre defeats Jimmy Uso. The Alabama Slam on those steps, boy. Let me tell you something. Those metal stairs, that's no joke. And then trying to sell it to make sure you don't actually smash the shit out of your noggin on those. And then another slam. Wait a second. I got that all mixed up. It's the other way around. What the hell am I smoking? I'm sorry. Big Jim defeats Drew McIntyre. I mean, he looks like he's winning there because he's on top. But he ends up being a bottom by the end of it because he reversed the second Alabama Slam, which is a really nice move. That counter, and then he pinned him for the 1-2-3. Post-match, Drew goes to attack Jimmy Uso. Yes, I almost called him Jay. Jesus Christ. Officials can't control the Scottish psychopath. But this was nice. I was entertained. That is the main thing with this. However, before we get into this, which was a nice, funny little match, I want to talk about the backstage, which I said before, I don't need to... Backstage, you know, Byron Saxton said hello to Tiffy Stratton. Like, who gives a shit? Nobody does. Backstage, Solo tells Jacob and Tama that the spike last week was an accident, to which Jacob Fatu said, and I quote, "Oh, I know. That's a terrible impression, and that's why I did it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be standing." And it's like, oh, shit. Then Solo's all like, "I'm going to be in your corner and Tama's corner tonight for the match." Nah, nah, nah. We playing tonight. What did he say? We're running the play tonight. I didn't know what he... Like, I know what the expression means. I thought he meant, like, I'm going to be calling the shots with you tonight. No, what he meant is it's the two of them, Jacob and Solo, versus, you know, who the hell did they face? Damian Priest and Braun Strowman. Man, I was like, wait, what? Because I'm looking to see who they're facing, but I forgot who they were facing here in the moment. I didn't know who they were going to be facing because I just, I don't know, maybe I got distracted. Anyhow, The Miz and Carmelo Hayes defeat R-Truth and LA Knight. Now, this shit was funny. It's just the way R-Truth is. You know how it is. It's always funny. I don't think it's ever going to be not funny. Love the part where he tags The Miz and he just gets on the apron. It's like, no, you dummy. And then Wade Barrett, man, does that guy ever fly off the handle on R-Truth. He really thinks he doesn't belong there. Absolutely insane. And, oh, and then the part where R-Truth, it helps if I look at my notes here. The part where R-Truth just starts counting. Who was on Carmelo? Was it little Jimmy? The only thing I could think of. Right? Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes because I sometimes make mistakes here. Yeah, then Shinsuke strikes from the shadows on LA Knight, which is essentially what made them lose. Whether or not the outcome would have been different, obviously not, because it's scripted. Right? Well then, Tiffy defeats Candice LeRae. Thank God. Man, she's so tiny. It's like, I think she's like half of Zelina Vega's size. It's just not really believable. She's a good character, but I'm just not much into her. But having her as an addition with like Nia Jax or something like that, sure, I think that pairing works fine. Nia, of course, interferes. She was trying to jump Tiffy from the get-go. That didn't work out. Charlotte Flair joins in on commentary. She remained fairly neutral because Trish Stratus ended up coming out after Tiffy won her match because Nia ended up attacking everybody. Charlotte just watched on, just sat there, minded her own business. Nia, at least it looked really botched. I didn't replay it, but it just looked really awkward. She stacked Tiffy and Trish. Tiffy Trish. Anyways. And it looked like she jumped, but like squatted and then just like gently sat on them. Maybe she was afraid to pop Trish's... You know what I'm saying? I really don't know. But then again, Tiffy's got them too. But I'm just saying it looked really bizarre, and maybe she wanted to play it safe and said, you know what? I'll make it look awkward and quote unquote botch it if it means I'm going to protect my partners that I'm dancing with in the ring, and I'm not too sure how this is, going to work out. Because that's a lot of extra weight, potentially, when you have Nia and then an additional person on top of you. It adds up, right? Not to, like, overlook it or anything like that. And then 2 weeks in a row now, Flair comes in to a laid-out Tiffy Stratton laid out on the mat, saying it's just a matter of time, and then kind of snubs her. But she doesn't attack her, so she's kind of doing that, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it is. I don't even know if technically she's a heel or not. But whatever. Again, backstage, because I thought this was interesting. Backstage, Cody and Damian Priest exchange a few friendly words. And Cody says, I wouldn't have it any other way, when Damian Priest says that he wants to win the chamber and then move on to come after the title. It's like, well, of course. Like, I mean, how else would you have it? I mean, what do you expect? And then Braun Strowman runs into Damian Priest because last week they fought each other for an elimination qualifier. Yeah, a little quick, friendly banter between the two of them, because later that night they're getting together to take on Solo and Jacob Fatu. See what happens when I'm warmed up a little bit and not distracted. Speaking of which, well, we'll get into that in a second. The Alexa Bliss vignette promo, a la Wyatt 6, had that vibe a little bit. She basically just talked about the Elimination Chamber and how she runs the women's division and how she's very familiar with the Elimination Chamber. And then she came out with the doll at the Royal Rumble, back in the day when she used to be with Bray Wyatt. What I'm finding interesting, unless it's all going to tie in together because they're both on SmackDown now, is Alexa Bliss going to end up joining the Wyatt 6? I think it would maybe make sense. She doesn't have to. I'm just saying from a persona perspective, she's never had this persona, from what I remember, without being tied to Bray Wyatt. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I kind of feel like, hey, you know what I'm saying? She going to go back to that? Otherwise, why doesn't she just go back to her regular, whatever look that she had before? I don't know. It's just what crossed my mind is all I'm saying. So Naomi versus Liv never happened, as Raquel and Liv attacked Naomi and Bianca, but it was such a quick little, whatever you want to call it. They could have just pushed them aside and still had a match. Now, I'm going to say something. I don't want to be that guy I don't want to be that person, whatever. I just happen to be a guy. That does this, but I'm going to say it. Somebody that I have frequent little interactions with on Twitter and through YouTube about wrestling said, what's your opinion on the booking of the women? Because allegedly there's a lot of frustration, behind the scenes. And, for instance, we had Rock, which, funny enough, took up a half-hour promo. So let me be... What's that word? Not keyboard warrior. What's that derogatory term, which I've been called that a few times. I don't really give a shit. White knighting or trying to play the hero. What if I told you that we could have still had a great match? We could have had a match between Naomi and Liv, even if it was 5 minutes. 5 fucking minutes. Is that so much to ask? And cut down The Rock's promo, heaven forbid, from like 26 minutes down to 20. That's still a huge chunk. Now, I get it. Had this been Monday Night Raw, it helps if I know the name of the show. That's the one where the time constraints are allegedly a bit looser, even though we've had abrupt endings still, and it kind of still feels like it gets chopped. Really? Like, come on. I don't know. So when it comes to the booking of women, I have found that quite often, whether it's the website themselves, they'll like completely just not even mention one of the women's matches, or they will, but they'll showcase a man match. So like, let's say Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso fought, and then you had like Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan fight. More often than none, sometimes you'll have the women's match just like not even shown in the list, or just completely removed, or it'll tell you, but then the video that goes in relation to the title is a men's match. I'm just saying, it's a little coincidental, not to be like, I'm not saying some conspiracy shit here. I'm not Alex Jones, okay? But I do find that interesting, or times where a match just gets completely thrown out and people are complaining that The Rock's promos are too long. It usually tends to affect the women's match and not the men's match. It could just be, to play the other side and be devil's advocate, that arguably the men in WWE are kind of the main attraction. It's not the women. Call that what you want. Oh my God, he's sexist now. I thought he was on our side. Now he just turned on us. Call it what you want. I'm just being real. What I will bluntly say is this. The men, in terms of like I'm not saying they're not capable. I'm saying from a booking perspective, from a merchandise perspective, from ticket sales and all that, arguably overall, I think the men dominate a little bit more. But nowhere am I saying, oh, what's this crap with the women? No. But I think the booking is crap, and maybe as a result, that's why. There's a lot of incredible... I've gone on... I've told you, non-stop. People like Zoe Stark. Absolutely... Man, she's so good. Just because she doesn't have a face like this, okay, and has more of a face like that. Don't let that fool you, because that girl can go. Charlotte Flair. Rhea Ripley's got to be my favorite, like, of all time. Like, I mean, of all time. Yeah, even compared to the almighty Trish, because back in the day, there really wasn't that many women, and they were used as, you know what, they were called divas and pillow bikini fight. It was stupid. That's not why people are tuning into wrestling. That's what the Playboy channel is for. Like, let's just be real, okay? But yeah, there's a lot of incredible talented women that can absolutely overshadow some of the men. So I don't want people getting the wrong idea that I think the women are down here and the men are up there. I mean, in terms of the booking, but again, overall, the sales just prove the sales. Okay? But yes, I would agree that there's definitely some booking issues with the women. I'm not saying I know the answer, but in this one, it was real simple. Give them the match, knock off 5 or 6 minutes off the Rock's promo, get him to talk a little bit quicker, And that's it. Now, speaking of The Rock, I mean, he's in here somewhere. I don't need to click on the thumbnail for it. But it was a big deal. Definitely. I wrote a lot of notes. I got more notes on the promo alone than the entire show. But that's also because it was the longest, biggest segment of the entire show. WrestleMania 42 will be in the Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana on April the 11th and 12th of 2026. Rock went a little heel mode, did a couple of, attacks on the crowd, and then said, thank you, he had a good night. He's just playing, right? He's having a good time. Called them a bunch of STD-invested trailer trash or something like that. Then he calls out Cody Rhodes, gives him a hug, a kiss on the cheek. He respects and loves and admires him, says he's been holding the company on his back and everything. They've become friends over the past year since their last Mania. Rock wants Cody to be his champion. Cody says he's the fans' champion. What does The Rock even mean? He says, I can make all your dreams come true, your wife's dreams come true, your kids' dreams come true. Well, they've already come true, so that's the part that I'm confused. And I get it. It's scripted. It's a soap opera. I get it. But even from that perspective, what more could the guy get? What more power could he have? He already has the championship. He's not seeking to get it. He has it and has held it for almost a year. So that's the part that I really got confused about. And then Rock spoke about how he wanted to face Roman Reigns. It's what's best for business. This, that, and the other thing. And he said, and what did you do, Cody? You said, no, fuck that shit. I'm not doing it. Blah, blah, blah. And then you slapped me, he says. And he's like, that's why I want you, because nobody ever does that and gets away with it. But he ended up being able to do that. Then he said, I want you to think about it. Okay? Then he's like, because this is what I want. I've wanted my whole life. And then Cody finally speaks again and says the title. And The Rock was like, no, I want your soul. Now, is this some like, I don't know, where just Cody would go heel? Is this like where Cody would do like The Rock's bidding? I don't know like what he means by that, but the expression on Cody Rhodes' face, I mean, it just said it all. And then The Rock's all like, you don't have to answer me now. I want an answer on March the 1st, Toronto Elimination Chamber. But what does it all mean? Why did Cody not elaborate more and go, what do you exactly mean? Why didn't he do the whole, like, riddle me this? What exactly do you mean by you want me to be your champion? You are the head of the TKO board. I am the WWE Undisputed Champion. I am their champion. I am therefore already your champion. What more would you want of me? Maybe I shouldn't quit my day job. Or I should, because it looks... Okay. See that? I just pulled that out of my ass. But that's totally something. You gotta pretend you heard that in Cody Rhodes' voice. Something I would have wanted him to say. But instead, he had the demeanor, the body language of, I understood what he meant, but I didn't. Do you know what the hell this all meant? Let me know. Let me know. Because I want to know. I Googled it. I still don't know. DIY and Pretty Deadly go at it for the 5th time. The Street Profits ruin the match again. Wow. MCMG come out as well. I mean, it was decent for what it was. It looks like the crowd is starting to get behind Pretty Deadly. Never thought I'd see the day where that would happen, where they're more like face than DIY is. I get it. The Street Profits are like, hey, you know what? We want to be next in line, but they're going about it the wrong way. They're like, we're just going to take what's ours, or whatever the attitude is. And you can do that sometimes, but not like week after. You just keep ruining these matches. However, again, I get it. It's scripted. Doesn't matter if they were there or not. They still would have had DIY still be the champions. But then you might as well have just given us our match. Had our hopes up potentially that maybe Pretty Deadly could have defeated them. And then after, at the end, just like Gunther's done with Imperium, the Ring General, is then go in and strike. Not during the... Once in a while, sure, fine. Oh my God, they're interfering in the match. I feel like half the goddamn card tonight was about interference. And then The Rock's half-hour promo. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah. I had fun here with this one. Oh, first of all, almost forgot. Good thing I got the patch up, because again, you can watch it up top. It helps if you can see my finger. Kevin Owens' cell phone promo about Sammy, you couldn't just take the punishment, you know, now you want to come and potentially end my career. Basically says to him, you understand what that's going to do for my family? Great, so then why did you do it to Sammy? That part was like, checkmate. But Kevin Owens is right. Because I'm going heel on that shit. He was at his house, peeking through the window. You could see Sammy interacting with his wife and his kid. I liked it. It was good times. Priest and Strowman defeat Jacob, Fatu, and Solo. This was... I'm telling you, something huge is going to happen. And my boy is going to get one of the loudest pops you've ever heard. Jacob Fatu cut off Solo's like last word. Maybe I'm looking too much into it when they do the whole backstage thing and they come out walking through the curtain. Solo tried to get his swagger on, which with all due respect, not exactly his strong suit. And Jacob Fatu just said, hit my music. And then it was his music that played. It wasn't like Solo's music. Because Solo's supposed to be the tribal chief. However, now that he doesn't have the Ulafala, I think that's where the power struggle is. So now he's a man without a champion. Solo, that is. He's got the Samoan spike, though. I still think I should patent that name. Because again, Solo Sikoa is Samoan. So Samoan and Sikoa becomes the Sikoan spike. That thing that you get at the end of every video I make. Because I know some of you are giving this shit a thumbs down. Which is good. It's good. So that, to me, is telling me something. Because they're no longer referred to as the bloodline. There's no more tribal chief. There's no more, I love you, Solo. There's just none of that anymore. Now we're super kicking him in the chin. It was an accident, but I'm just saying. Every time Solo's in the ring, we want Jacob. We want... It's like, wow, we're at that, and I'm all up for that. Like, I can't even tell you. He's probably becoming one of my favorite, fastest favorite rising stars of all time. Actually, like, I mean, I'm on board with this guy. And then South of Heaven from Priest pins Solo. Because there was some distractions, and then Tama Tonga got on ringside and tried to, you know, do what he does. And, yeah. I mean, at this point, I mean, the cat's not in the bag. Usually the cat's out of the bag. I need a different expression. I mean, at this point, the rabbit's out of the hat. Whatever. At this point, it's crystal clear. I'm trying to find some, like, perfect saying here. Jacob Fatu, record this moment, has by now, like, it's okay, he's overshadowed Solo. There's nothing Solo says or does that's like, he doesn't have the it factor. It sounds rude. Look, man, I love Solo. I think Solo has done an absolute amazing, fantastic job with the whole bloodline thing. He ran that shit really well. But then Jacob Fatu came along and fucked up Solo's momentum. Because that's just how great he is. You have greatness, you have S tier, and then there's like, but I'm up here. Now all of a sudden, you can't even see the tier. And then all of a sudden it makes that S tier look like not so special anymore. And I really think that just from the promos, the vibe, the aura, the in-ring work, everything. But again, we're not taking away from Solo. We're not bringing him down. He's still up there. He's never gone down. He hasn't diminished. But Jacob Fatu entered somewhere I'd have to twist my head to look up. That's the thing. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm still right. Thumbs up as always if you like. I feel like this. Oh my God, my promo is just as long as The Rock's. So don't watch The Rock flap his gums for 25 minutes in the same amount of time I gave you the whole show, the whole breakdown. That's not so bad. Thumbs down if you didn't like it. You may not see it, but it's there. The spike. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, naturally that'd be great, but if not, I get it. Trust me. Thanks for stopping by. Take care. And if you have any thoughts on what I said, the Jacob things, you think he'll, whatever, make his own faction, break away, just whatever. What would you like to see versus what do you think might happen? Because what you think might happen isn't always what you want to happen. And even Jacob Fatu was like going with the crowd when people were like, Fatu. It was like, yeah, he was starting to feed off of it. It's like, he's giving in. He's liking it. Yeah, this was awesome. Bye for now.